Long waiting changes a person in ways they do not always notice while the changing is happening. It does not arrive as despair, it arrives as adjustment, as the quiet revision of what you expect, what you ask for, what you let yourself believe is still possible. And by the time you notice the change, you have been living inside it long enough that it feels less like loss and more like maturity. This prayer is for the person who has been waiting so long that the waiting has started to feel like the answer. Bring the full truth of it. Father, I have been waiting for something I have not stopped believing you could do. That is the honest starting place. Not that I have given up, that I have been holding on morning after morning with a grip that has grown tired, without ever quite letting go. And I am here today not because anything has changed, but because I am not ready to stop bringing this to you. Even when bringing it feels like the same conversation we have been having for longer than I know how to say. Thank you for the prayers you have already answered in the years I've been waiting for this one. That is the gratitude I want to hold this morning, not as a strategy to feel more faithful, but because it is actually true. Other things came through, other doors opened. Your faithfulness in the adjacent areas of my life is real, and I do not want the unanswered thing to erase it. I am holding both this morning, the gratitude and the still waiting. Now, here is what I need to be honest about, because I have not said it clearly even to myself. I have been quietly grieving a version of my life that has not arrived, not with dramatic mourning, but with the specific interior grief of a person who has been holding a space, open for something long enough that the open space itself has become part of their daily architecture. I have been living around the expectation, arranging things in relation to what I am still waiting for, making certain choices and declining others based on the assumption that the answer was coming soon, and soon kept not arriving, and I kept rearranging, and I have not acknowledged how much of my interior life has been organized around an outcome that has not yet come. What I am naming this morning is the exhaustion of that organizing, the particular kind of tire that comes not from doing too much, but from holding a posture too long, and the grief, which I have been calling patience, of remaining open to something whose arrival keeps not being now. Help me, Lord, to stay in this without letting the waiting harden into bitterness or thin into resignation. Show me the difference between the two, between the active, costly trust of someone still bringing their request to you and the passive withdrawal of someone who has technically not given up, but has also stopped, genuinely expecting. I want the first one. I am afraid I may have been sliding toward the second, and protect me from the particular self-abandonment of making myself smaller to fit the waiting, from reorganizing my identity around the absence instead of around who you say I am, regardless of what has not yet come. Here is what your presence feels like in a long wait. It is like the way a musician tunes before a performance, not to the audience, not to the room, but to a fixed pitch that exists whether or not anyone else can hear it. The standard does not move. The tuning happens in relation to what is constant, not what is convenient. You are the fixed pitch. The waiting has not changed. You, Habakkuk 2:3. For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. The word appointed here in the original Hebrew carries the sense of something designated in advance, a time that was set, not improvised. The linger is not delay in the sense of forgetfulness. It is the approach of what was always coming toward its designated moment. The arrival has a fixed address in time. I simply have not reached it yet. Father, I trust you with the waiting and with me inside it. With the version of this that still believes and the version that is tired of believing, and the place where both are true at the same time. The appointed time is real. I am walking toward it. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. This prayer will be here on every morning the waiting returns. Subscribe so this is always where you bring it.